Hey Star Trek fans, Dan Gunther here. It's time for another Week in Trek in which I bring you all the week's Star Trek news, as well as what is coming out in the next week for you to add to your Trek library. This week we have news regarding the recently released Star Trek Discovery series finale, an update on the production of Strange New Worlds Season 3 and 4, and some tidbits from Star Trek head honcho Alex Kurtzman about Starfleet Academy. So without further ado, let's get into the news.
You're the captain of the most important space station in the entire Federation. You're news.
Before I talk about this first news story, I should warn you that it contains spoilers for the final episode of Star Trek Discovery. If you haven't watched it yet, make sure to do so before continuing. So at the end of Discovery's series finale, Life Itself, we finally saw the setup for the Short Trek's episode Calypso. The Discovery has been reverted to its former pre-32nd century refit self, and is about to be hidden in a nebula, waiting for Kraft to happen upon it in his escape pod and fulfill whatever mission it is that Kovich has determined is necessary. Well, in a recent Variety interview with Discovery showrunner Michelle Paradise, it seems that this tie-in with Calypso was likely to be a central focus of Discovery's non-existent 6th season had it gone ahead as originally planned. According to Paradise, we always knew that we wanted to somehow tie back to Calypso. We never wanted Calypso to be the hanging Chad. Once they knew that a 6th season was going to be impossible, it was decided to fast-track that ending to serve as the coda to the 5th and now final season. I don't know about you, but I am definitely upset that we didn't get another season of Discovery to properly wrap up the storyline. However, most series, when they are cancelled, don't get the opportunity to go back and craft an ending, so I am grateful that the folks behind Discovery were able to do that. But I'm curious about what you think. How do you think a season-long story arc culminating in the story we saw in Calypso would work out? Would you have liked to have seen that? Let me know in the comments below. Star Trek boss Alex Kurtzman recently spoke with the LA Times about the upcoming Star Trek Starfleet Academy television series. We recently got confirmation that the series is set in the 32nd century, taking place sometime after the end of Star Trek Discovery. In his conversation with the LA Times, Kurtzman outlined the reasons for setting the series in that era, rather than some other familiar time period within Star Trek's history, such as the 23rd, 24th, or even now, thanks to Picard, the 25th century. Here's some of what he had to say. As the father of a 17-year-old boy, I see what my son is feeling as he looks at the world and to his future. I see the uncertainty. I see all the things we took for granted as given are not certainties for him. I see him recognizing he's inheriting an enormous mess to clean up, and it's going to be on his generation to figure out how to do that. And that's a lot to ask of a kid. My thinking was, if we set Starfleet Academy in the halcyon days of the Federation, where everything was fine, it's not going to speak to what kids are going through right now. It'll be a nice fantasy, but it's not really going to be authentic. What'll be authentic is to set it in the timeline where this is the first class back after over 100 years, and they are coming into a world that is only beginning to recover from a cataclysm. So they're the first who will re-inherit the task of exploration as a primary goal, because there just wasn't room for that during the burn. Everybody was playing defense. It's an incredibly optimistic show, an incredibly fun show. It's a very funny show, and it's a very emotional show. I think these kids, in different ways, are going to represent what a lot of kids are feeling now. I personally like that rationale, and I can see the merits of setting this apparently young adult-focused series in that era. I am very much looking forward to Starfleet Academy, and the Star Trek franchise as a whole continuing to push ahead into the exploration of our futures. More to come about Starfleet Academy as we get closer to the filming for that series. Speaking of filming, we have an update on the production of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, currently on hiatus between their 2nd and 3rd seasons. Filming on Season 3 began back in December of last year, and the production on the season is currently winding down as the cast has been reporting on social media. Anson Mount, aka Captain Christopher Pike, shared a video celebrating his return home after wrapping filming in Toronto on May 23rd. We've also seen a post from cast member Jess Bush, who plays Christine Chappell, where she shared an impressive stack of Season 3 scripts. And finally, another post surfaced from Anson Mount with some kind words for Canada, and is looking forward to returning in the spring of 2025 to begin work on Season 4. Season 4 of Strange New Worlds Worlds was officially announced by Paramount back in April. At the same time, they let us know that the upcoming season of Lower Decks would be its last. We're all very much looking forward to the next set of voyages of the Starship Enterprise on Strange New Worlds, but it seems we won't be getting Season 3 of that show until sometime in 2025.
All I require is to sit in the sun, read my book, alone.
We have a number of book and comic releases this week, including a memoir from someone very close to one of the biggest names in Star Trek. Tuesday, June 4th, sees the release of The Most Human, Reconciling with My Father, Leonard Nimoy, written by Leonard's son, Adam. Here's the synopsis from publisher Chicago Review Press. While the tabloids and fan productions portrayed the Nimoys as a close family, to his son Adam, Leonard Nimoy was a total stranger. The actor was as inscrutable as the iconic half-Vulcan science officer he portrayed on Star Trek, even to those close to him. Now, his son's poignant memoir explores their complicated relationship and how it informed his views on marriage, parenting, and later, sobriety. Despite their differences, both men ventured down parallel paths, marriages leading to divorce, battling addiction, and finding recovery. Most notably, both men struggled to take the 9th step in their AA journey, to make amends with each other. Discover how the son of Spock learned to navigate this tumultuous relationship, from Shabbat dinners to basement AA meetings, and how he was finally able to reconcile with his father and with himself. The Most Human is available in hardcover, ebook, and audiobook. Please check out the video description for links to pick up your copy from Amazon. Tuesday also features the release of the latest comic omnibus collection from IDW. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the Scorpius run, collects all 5 issues of the miniseries that was published from August 2023 to January 2024. Here's the description from IDW. Explore never-before-seen adventures of the hit Paramount Plus show, Strange New Worlds Beckon. Set course with Captain Pike and the crew of the USS Enterprise to the Scorpius constellation as they become the first Federation vessel to explore this uncharted region of space. In this romp across the stars, the Enterprise crew learn what it truly means to explore the strange and unfamiliar when they lose contact with Starfleet and everything outside the region. After entering a crime lord's starship competition to save an innocent pilot, the Enterprise jets through a gauntlet of dangerous environments in the unexplored Scorpius sector. But cosmic storms and sentient ship-eating asteroids aren't the only obstacles the crew will have to survive. Collects the 5-issue series by Star Trek comics veterans Ryan Parrott, Mike Johnson, and Angel Hernandez. As always, you can find links to purchase the collection in the video description below. And finally, Wednesday is always New Comic Day, and this week features the release of the 3rd issue of IDW's Sons of Star Trek miniseries, spinning off from their ongoing Star Trek and Star Trek Defiant comic book series. Here's the synopsis. In a snap turn of events, Q Jr. has kidnapped 3 of Starfleet's eldest sons and transported them to an alternate reality. By way of a bold maneuver with Lieutenant Jadzia at the helm, the USS Avery crew finally avoided being turned into shrapnel by the Breen. For now. But the crew now face a new challenge. The infamous Curzon maneuver has left them sitting dead in space, and the Breen have already begun infiltrating the ship. To make matters worse, Q Jr.'s powers have stopped working. It's do or die for Jake Sisko and the crew of the Avery. For real this time. Sons of Star Trek number 3 is on sale on Wednesday, June 5th. Only 1 issue left after this one, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this story wraps up. And that's another Week in Trek in the bag. Thanks to the Patreon supporters for helping out. It's always appreciated. And thanks, of course, to you, the viewer, for tuning in. Even though Discovery is now finished, there's still a lot of Star Trek on the horizon, and many more videos coming soon on this channel, including my review of Discovery's final episode, which is a little late due to the length of the script. Look for that coming soon. Until then, as always, live long and prosper.